Can't decide and torn between a romantic, comedy, action, or an indie film to watch for the weekend? Well. Golden State Media Concepts Movie Podcast is your ultimate guide to the latest movies. Join us as we dissect the latest on the blockbusters. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Movie Podcast.
Welcome to the GSMC Movie Podcast with your host, Ryan Holloway. We are brought to you by AdamandEve.com. For a limited time only, you'll get 50% off just about any item at AdamandEve.com using promo code GSMC. How you guys doing? I am great. I'm sorry I didn't give you a chance to answer. My apologies. So, I went to go see, this is what we're going to do today. Today, I'm going to give you guys my review, my opinion, my brutally honest opinion of Bad Moms 2, A Bad Moms Christmas, the sequel to Bad Moms. I'm also going to tell you guys about some upcoming features, which is primarily Justice League. I'm really pumped for Justice League. Can't wait. It's highly anticipated. It is, in case you didn't know, it's DC's version of the Avengers. No, wait, they hate that. Or X-Men. No, they hate that. I shouldn't say that. It's DC's Justice League. Period. Also, I'm going to tell you guys, I got a bonus for you. I'm going to tell you guys why you should be watching Stranger Things. If you are not watching Stranger Things, you're slipping. If you're not watching it, then you're slipping. So, what we have is Bad Moms 2, Bad Moms Christmas. It is the sequel to the original Bad Moms movie. In your cast, you got the most incredible Mila Kunis. You got Kristen Bell. You got Kathryn Hahn. You also have Susan Sarandon playing a free spirit, reckless kind of mom that shows up about every couple years. Basically, this movie is primarily about the Bad Moms mothers. So when they say Bad Moms Christmas, it's kind of got a double meaning. Like, it's Bad Moms, the Christmas version, but it's also a Christmas for bad moms because their moms that they have aren't probably the best parental individuals. The movie starts off in a way where I thought it was moving. I thought it kind of jumped into things, but it's fine because they had to give you an example of how like extremely bad, or about how overbearing these mothers were. The mom, Amy's mom, Mila Kunis' mom, is played by Christine Baranski, and she shows up and instantly just her husband goes to introduce himself to Mila Kunis' mom, and Mila Kunis' mom instantly just ignores him and says, "Can you take these bags upstairs, sir?" So in a way, like he's the help. So just off the rip, like her mom was rude, that we kind of got the whole idea. For the most part, the mothers show up. A couple of them show up earlier than expected. Susan Sarandon showed up. She wasn't even invited. And the daughters feel this pressure to deal with their moms. So they're getting plastered in the food court, and they decide they're going to take Christmas back. Which, when this happened, at this point in the movie, I was like, yo, this is going to be lit. Because they start acting like wild in the mall. They steal this Christmas tree from Foot Locker. They're pouring a whole bunch of whiskey inside of the apple cider samples. I was like, yo, this is about to get lit. Like, I wonder what they're going to do to make Christmas kind of crazy. I was kind of excited because while they were sitting there in the food court, they were talking about the horrors and pressures of Christmas, like buying everybody and their mother a gift. Literally everybody and their mother a gift, which can be exhausting. Nobody wants to buy everybody and their mother a gift. You got to buy 15 people a gift. You got to get your teachers a gift. You're not even in school. I graduated and I still got to buy my teachers a gift. And you got to deal with kids that are the type of kids that seem like they should be dropped off at the fire station. So I felt them in that, being as that they did this scene in the mall where it was just complete chaos. They're like, I can't do this right now. So I got kind of pumped up. I thought it was going to be one of those things where they were just going to like turn Christmas on its head and then just wild out. But because it is an R-rated movie, but this is why I felt like it was a good Christmas movie, but not probably a good Bad Moms movie. Because, I mean, minus a couple genital jokes and 20 to 30, maybe 50 F-bombs and the stripper and the awkward waxing scene, other than all that stuff, I mean, it probably could have been a PG-13 movie. I don't really necessarily feel like it should have been. I don't know if it should have been that like rated, if it should have been rated R. I don't necessarily feel like it should have been that way, just because it wasn't really popping in a way where it was so obscene that it made you like cringe or anything. It actually, I'm sorry, there is one cringeworthy scene in it. I'm not going to give you a spoiler, but there's a waxing scene, and it gets kind of outrageous. Also, they have this stripper in it where I feel like the whole movie is rated R because of this stripper, which sounds obvious, but it's kind of like, yo, we got this movie and it's not raunchy enough. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to have you guys say the F-bomb about 20, 30 times, and then we're going to add a stripper. All right, rated R, we're good. So that's kind of how I felt. I feel like it was a good Christmas movie, though, because the gist of the movie is to like appreciate your family and appreciate your family's boundaries and things like that. So you got three moms that show up. One mom's like a free spirit that's like never ever around. Susan Sarandon does a good job playing that part. Then you got another mom who shows up and she's super into her daughter, Kristen Bell's mom. She's played by Cheryl Hines, Larry David's wife on Curb Your Enthusiasm. And she's super overbearing. Like, she's madly in love with her daughter, not in like a gross way, but she wears pajamas that has her daughter's face printed all over them. She wears a crew neck sweater that has her mother's face printed, that has her daughter's face printed on it. So she's like the overprotective, super duper, my kid is my sister type of mom. Then you got Amy's mom, Mila Kunis, played by Christine Baranski, and she plays just a super ultra evil mom. Like, she decided to redecorate her daughter's house and do this party because she said that she won't let her daughter ruin Christmas, and that's how she felt, because she felt like since her daughter had the divorce, she's ruining Christmas for her kids. And they do this thing where, since she's a grandma, she does like wild things to spoil the kids. Like, she shows up and she's like, "Hey, here's these Xboxes," like 10 days before Christmas. They're like, "Thanks, we love you, grandma." So they get to a point in the movie where everyone, it's a Christmas movie, so people realize their faults and they love each other, they hug it out, and it's cool. The interesting dynamic I thought that the movie had was, one daughter doesn't have her mom around a lot, Carla, who is Susan Sarandon's daughter in the movie. So we got daughters who are complaining about their parents being like too overbearing and being around too much. Well, one of their friends is like, "Yo, I haven't seen my mom in like 3 years," and her mom shows up. So that dynamic is interesting. Other than that, I'm going to say it was a good Christmas movie just because of the heartfelt, soft, compassionate stuff at the end, which is what you usually get in a Christmas movie. I just don't necessarily think it should have been like a Bad Moms movie or a rated R movie. I feel like they could have changed it a little bit to have like kids go, but And maybe, and I'm not gonna say it wasn't for me, because my palate is pretty. I have a variety that I like to put on my palate when it comes to movies, and it's not just because it was a Christmas movie, because I've seen a lot of Christmas movies, and you get that little warmth, that little that warm feeling. So I've seen some Christmas movies. Maybe I was turned off because it's too early for Christmas. I mean, when I went to go see it, it was only November 14th. So I could be turned off by that, but it was just. It wasn't really what I expected. I'm going to say I expected more raunchiness. I thought it'd be a lot more raunchy, it being a Bad Moms movie. I thought they were going to let go, turn Christmas on its head, like start kicking in people's doors, like burning their Christmas trees. But I guess you can't really do that for Christmas. So maybe I went in with my expectations a little bit too high. It said Bad Moms Christmas. I thought it was going to be Bad Moms Christmas. That mall scene really had me going. And then they go to this place where they're making gingerbread houses, and one of them makes a gingerbread, and one of them makes something in the shape of something using gingerbread, and that part is, it's comical. It's funny. It's a funny movie. I did laugh. I didn't like laugh crying. It wasn't an ab workout, but there was definitely some ridiculous things in there that I thought were funny. Mila Kunis' mom, she does some outrageously mean things that are like so mean. In the beginning, they're so mean. It's like, what? This is stupid. This doesn't make any sense. But I feel like the writers and director want to like force her personality on you just so you know what type of person she is. And then once she does that, it's done. Like, she goes through this whole thing of calling Mila Kunis' boyfriend the wrong, like, not knowing who he is. Like, in every scene, she's introducing herself. Like, hi, I'm Amy's mom. Hi, I'm Amy's mom. The guy's like, I just met you. Then eventually at the end of the movie, she's like, Merry Christmas, Jesus. And he's like, my name's Jesse though. And she's like, okay. So that development of that character made me laugh because she's just incredibly mean. Other than that, I don't really think that it should have really had the whole bad moms label. I'm not really sure if it should have did that. So with that, one thing you do get with rated R movies, though, you do get previews. You get really dope previews, I would say. One of the illest previews that I saw was Den of Thieves. It has Curtis Jackson in it. It's got O'Shea Jackson, no relation, Ice Cube's son, and 50 Cent the Rapper. It's got Gerard Butler in it. And Gerard Butler plays the police. O'Shea Jackson and 50 Cent play bank robbers. And it looks like a pretty intense cops and robbers movies. It looks really good. It looks like it might be Heat level. When I say Heat level, I'm talking about Al Pacino. Heat level. That's what I'm talking about. Like that type of movie. It's going to be dope. So I'm pretty excited about that. It looked really loud. Soundtrack looked dope. It kind of looked like 999. 999 came out a few years ago, and that one was about some cops that were robbing banks in the cuts. So that one was pretty good. I'm pretty excited about that movie. The most excitement ever is going to solely come from Justice League. Justice League is en route. It is on the way. We have waited long and patiently for this movie. The anticipation is great. The reason the anticipation is really great for me is because I really like the Superman movie. Like, as far as this director goes, this series of DC, I like the Superman movie. I wasn't a huge fan of the Batman Superman movie. I thought it was kind of silly. I feel like they try to force a lot on us at once. Like, okay, not only is Ben Affleck going to be Batman, but suddenly Batman is beefing with Superman. Just off the rip, though. Like, as though we don't know that Christian Bale has been Batman for the last, 7 or 8 years. And then you guys suddenly, we're supposed to pretend this is the same character, and now he's beefing with Superman. Even though Christian Bale's Batman, there was no mention of a Superman at all. But you guys just move into this Superman Batman movie as though this is okay. This is just a thing. Okay, cool. That's fine. So I'm not going to say I was very happy about that one. Not going to say I was. But the Wonder Woman movie was dope. So with all that confusion mixed in there, as far as my likes and dislikes, I have high hopes for Justice League, especially because the last trailer I saw, the last trailer seemed like it made sense. The other ones I saw before were just them just plotting like, yo, that's what we're going to do. We got to plot because we got to all get together because someone's going to pop off and there's going to be a problem. And when this problem pops off, we got to all be together. We got to band together. And they're building this team for no reason. Like, you don't know why they're building this team. It would be like if the 76ers kept drafting players, but they weren't a basketball team. They were just a group of guys who just kept drafting people for no reason. And we don't know what they're going to do. The latest trailer gives you an idea. It gives some personality. They add the one-liners in there. You get a peek inside the personalities of the individuals. So the last trailer made a little bit more sense. So that was the best thing of me seeing Bad Moms, was that I got to see a trailer for Justice League, and I also got to see a trailer for Den of Thieves. I'm not gonna tell you to not go see this movie. I'm just gonna say, if you want to see a Christmas movie with like your mom and you guys want to like laugh about stuff and you kind of want to see an R-rated movie, but don't want to see anything that's too raunchy for you because it might be kind of over the top for you, then I recommend that you go see it. But if not, if you're not in any one of those situations and you're expecting like rated R for raunchy like level of moviness, then there's a possibility that it might not be your favorite. Either way, don't take my word for it. You enjoy. When I come back, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about my expectations for Justice League. I'm also going to tell you why, if you're not watching Stranger Things, then you're missing out on life. Be right back. Are you looking to spice things up in the bedroom? Been fantasizing about surprising your lover with an adventurous new toy or adult movie? Well, here's an offer you won't be able to resist. Go to adamandeve.com, and for a limited time only, you'll get 50% off just about any item. But that's not all. When you select your one item at 50% off, you'll also receive 3 free adult DVDs for a little inspiration, plus a free extra gift so sensual we can't mention it on the podcast. And to top it all off, they'll even throw in free shipping on your entire order. And no, they're not kidding. So check out adamandeve.com today for this special offer. Get 50% off one item when you type GSMC for the offer code upon checkout. When you do, you'll get 3 free DVDs, a free extra gift, and free extra shipping. Just use offer code GSMC at adamandeve.com. That's GSMC at adamandeve.com. Welcome back to the GSMC Movie Podcast with your host, Ryan Holloway. Just got done telling you guys about Bad Moms Christmas, the sequel to Bad Moms. If you haven't seen it, listen to my first segment, and then, if you want to go see it, that's fine. If you want to go see it without listening to my segment, that's fine also. But I'd recommend you do a little bit. Expectations may be different for that movie. That's all I'm saying. As promised, I told you guys I was going to tell you a little bit more about my excitement about Justice League. It is going to be out in just a couple days. Just in case you guys didn't know, today is the 15th. It's going to be out on the 17th. So, it might be one of those things where I might go to the late night showing. I really just might. It's a possibility that I might, because if I'll go to the late night showing, or I'll try to battle for the weekend to go see it, which probably isn't going to make a lot of sense either. So either way, I'm going to get that to you guys. I'm going to make sure that you guys are able to hear about the movie on the next show. The budget for the movie was $300 million. So it should be really good. I'm not going to say that every time someone spends a lot of money on a movie that it's really good, but when you're going to pay $300 million, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it should be pretty good. The premise of this movie is months after the Batman vs. Superman event, inspired by Superman's sacrifice that he made of his life for humanity. Bruce Wayne, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman got to face the catastrophic Steppenwolf and his army of parademons who are on the hunt for 3 mother boxes somewhere on Earth. Now, that premise with all the extra stuff doesn't sound really, really dope. This is what I do know. There's a bad guy. We got a whole bunch of superheroes that got to band together that don't necessarily get along. And they have a common enemy. Meanwhile, this is all happening while the world is still mourning Superman, because this is only months after Superman died. So we're watching this movie. I mean, Superman versus Batman was in, let's say, 2015. So that was 2 years ago, right? But we're going to watch the movie as though it just happened a couple days ago. So I would imagine there's going to be some conflict of people like not really It's going to be some conflict. People missing Superman, then looking at Batman like, hey, like we don't believe in you. You need more people. So I think there's going to be some conflict like that. Of course, based on what I think I know, this isn't a spoiler because I don't know, but I would think that Justice League needs Superman. So I don't know what's going to happen in the movie, but I'm gonna guess that somehow, some way, Superman isn't really dead, because you can't just kill Superman. That doesn't even make any sense. So I'm looking forward to the movie. Hopefully, you guys are looking forward to it as well. And when I do see it, I will be sure to go ahead and review it for you guys here. Now, as promised, I want to let you know what's popping with Stranger Things. If you haven't seen Stranger Things, and I don't know what's going on with your life, I'm not necessarily a sucker for the hype like that usually, but because when it comes to a lot of people saying something's really good, sometimes it's just hype, right? Like sometimes it can really be hype, but if everyone is saying something is really, really good, it could just be because everyone wants to be part of something successful. Same thing how if everybody's like hating on something, like if the majority of people are hating on something, like a large majority, I'm talking about like 91%, you should do your research. Like, wait a minute, hold on. I mean, some things are true. Some things, if a lot of us don't like it, there's a possibility that, maybe it's right. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole of things that a lot of people don't approve of. It might be in agreement on. I'm not gonna do that. What I am gonna say is I was lightweight turned off by like the Stranger Things hype. Like everybody was talking about it. Everybody on Instagram, Twitter, all over the place. So I mean, my thinking was, yeah, I'm not gonna fall for that. Like I've done that before. I've fallen for the hype, and I've went into something that was like, oh, this was really bad, and I'm sad. Like when a fast food restaurant has offering something that's completely ridiculous, like a chicken on chicken sandwich where the chicken is the bun, and then like just silly stuff like that, where I've fallen for it. But I have a really good friend that doesn't watch any TV at all, really. So whenever they recommend something that may be fire, I'm like, yo, you don't watch TV or like any real media, so I'm gonna trust your judgment because you're highly selective. My friend told me to watch Stranger Things, and it was popping. I didn't have a whole bunch of time to start from the beginning. I'm confident in my ability to judge things. So when it comes, that sounds like a really judgy statement, but I'm confident in my ability to judge things. And what I mean by that is I don't really, you know what? I'll rephrase that. I'm confident in my ability to comprehend storylines. So what I mean by that is if I don't have to go see the first movie to understand what's happening in the second movie, and I didn't have to see the first season of Stranger Things to find out what was happening in the second season. I just turned on the second season because my friend hadn't seen the second season yet. They had only saw the first season. I was like, we can start the second season. That's fine. I turned on, and this show is great. It's a great show. It is. And the reason why it's really good is I believe it's really good because of where it's based at in time. So it's based like in a small town in the 80s. Whenever you base things like further back in time, it just seems like stuff is more like things are more authentic and the story is better and things just become more reliable. There's a part in the movie where they're communicating through Morse code, and it's science fiction, and there's these like monsters from like this other dimension. Is like, that's completely unbelievable. And why don't they just do this, or why don't they just do that? But there's no phones, like there's no Facebook, there's no Instagram, there's none of that stuff to go and report this. So, and they do it in a way where it's not corny sci-fi. It's kind of believable. And the kids that it's based around are kids that would be like considered nerds or dweebs like back in that day. Like, the kids at the school call them nerds. Like they dressed up as Ghostbusters for Halloween and no one else dressed up as Ghostbusters. Right now, that's a cool thing to do. But back in the day, that wasn't lit. Like that's not something that you would just do. You wouldn't be the only one at school in the Halloween costume. That's not what you would do. And they hang out in the audiovisual club, which is an incredible contrast to now because everyone's in the audiovisual, right? But in the 80s, like that was the synonym for like nerd club. But now it's dope to be in the media. Anyway, I digress. The movie is great also because of the acting. The acting is killer. Winona Ryder is in it. She plays one of the moms in the movie, and she kills it. She's got this like always kind of worried look on her face. The kids do an incredible job too. Like, I think that's another reason why it's good, is because so because it's based in the 80s, nobody knows a lot, but all the kids seem to be smarter than the adults. And I don't want to give away too much about what's popping, because if I tell you about it, then it might turn you off. I already mentioned monsters from a different dimension. Based on who you are, because I said that might turn you off. Like, I don't want to see that. But let me ask you this. Would you ever be interested if I told you to watch something that involved dragons and castles? Say 8 years ago, I was like, hey man, you should watch a show about dragons and castles. You'd be like, I'm not watching that, but you watch Game of Thrones. What if I told you a couple years ago, maybe 8 years ago, I was like, hey man, you should watch this show about this science teacher, about this chemistry teacher who gets cancer and decides to start selling drugs to support his family. You'd be like, I'm not watching that. That sounds stupid. That's what you'd say. What if I told you to watch a show about a biker gang based in the San Joaquin Valley? You'd be like, I'm not watching that. What would the biker gang know? What would the biker gang in the valley know? But you watch Sons of Anarchy. Sons of Anarchy, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones are all shows that I never ever thought I would be into, just solely based on like the description of what was going to happen and where it was at. I was like, I'm not going to watch it. That sounds ridiculous. But what's going on, it doesn't really, the premise doesn't really matter as long as the writing's good. And this show is like that. These kids have to fight, these kids and these adults have to fight these. Well, this is the second season, but in the first season, one of the kids gets taken into this other dimension. He just gets taken. And it's great because in this season he comes back and he's back now, and they're still facing problems with the dimension that he went to. I mean, I'll give you guys a perfect example of this. This is the best example I have. When I had an aunt that recommended that I watch The Walking Dead. This was, I don't know, maybe 2010, 2011. I was like, what are you watching? She's like, I'm watching Walking Dead. It's about zombies. It's kind of silly though. And I was like, And I don't know if she said it's kind of silly because she felt like it was silly, or because this is why she said it. She said it because she didn't feel confident saying she's watching a show about zombies. She's an intelligent woman. I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. I have Netflix. Why not? I watched the first 2 seasons of Walking Dead on Netflix and was like, what is this? This is incredible. Because the show isn't about the zombies. It's about the characters. And this show's been on forever. They even made a spinoff about it, Fear the Walking Dead, all because it's a good show. It's not about the zombies. It's about the people. And that's what Stranger Things is about. It's not about the dimensions. It's not about these incredibly scary looking demon dogs that are all over the place. It's about the characters. So I recommend you guys watch it because it has 2 seasons. You're probably out of stuff to watch on Netflix anyway because nothing's been popping on there for a while. You already watched your House of Cards and you already watched your Orange is the New Black. And House of Cards is canceled anyway. So I know you've already watched everything. You've watched all your comedy specials. I would check out Stranger Things. Check it out sometime this weekend because if you start from the first season, it's going to take up all your time. Give it some time though to get into it, just because it's going to be different than if you're not a sci-fi person. Like, I mean, I don't feel like I'm like a sci-fi guy. Like I don't know the Comic-Con dates, and I don't dress up in like dope costumes that are really expensive. I don't do any of that. So if you're not a sci-fi person, give yourself about an episode and a half. Give yourself 2 episodes to just get into it and find out what's popping. And I believe that you're going to be into it. And you'll finally know what's going on with all these memes that have 11 in it. And like on November 11th, there was a date that said 11/11/17. And for the 2 11s, there was like a girl's face. And it said 17 after the girl's face twice. And I was like, what does this even mean? I said, oh, it's a Stranger Things thing. The character's name is 11. Got it. So if you don't want to be left out of random Instagram memes and you also want to be entertained for, I don't know, maybe 24 whole hours this weekend, you should check it out. They're not an hour long. They won't take up that much of your time. They're about 41 to 45 minutes. So they go by kind of fast. Check out Stranger Things. Enjoy it. I will get back to you guys next week about Justice League, and you have a wonderful weekend. Is it Wednesday? We got a couple more days coming up. Anyway, enjoy your weekend. It's been great. This has been your host, Ryan Holloway, on the GSMC Movie Podcast. Excelsior!